Details in the deadly crash in Orono that killed two young men, including Mac Motzko, the son of Gopher hockey coach Bob Motzko. Fox 9's Paul Bloom joins us live now. So, Paul, you were able to look up some search warrants involved in this case.
In addition to those search warrants, Amy, I spoke to a criminal defense attorney locally about the potential of criminal vehicular homicide charges in this case. As for that search warrant, it does quote this driver, James Blue. He wasn't wearing a seatbelt, ejected 6 to 10 feet out of his luxury vehicle at the scene of the crash. He apparently told officers on scene that he was, quote, guilty and had been drinking at a nearby Lake Minnetonka bar before getting behind the wheel. As a pair of families grieve and prepare for funerals, investigators now waiting on blood alcohol results taken from James David Blue, who was behind the wheel of his Bentley at the time of the deadly crash. Sam Schuneman and Mac Motzko, son of Gophers men's hockey coach Bob Motzko, were both killed. According to this search warrant, the 51-year-old telling officers at the scene that he was, quote, guilty and admitted to drinking at Maynard's before driving. The tragedy unfolding just a handful of houses away from his Lake Minnetonka mansion.
It's my understanding that they're taking blood, and if that's the case, it'll go to the BCA, and that'll take a while to come back to get that level. So there probably won't be any charges until they find out whether or not there's alcohol in the blood.
Let's give you a little perspective on the scene and specifically the distances along North Shore Drive. First, you can see the memorial to the two young lives lost. We'll track the Bentley as it leaves the roadway. Investigative markings. Remember, it is dark Saturday night. The crash happening around 11:30 at night. The vehicle slamming into a grove of trees. James Blue behind the wheel, according to authorities. He's unbelted and is ejected out of his high-end vehicle. We continue on our Fox 9 drone flight 3-4 driveways away. This is Blue's home. Appears the trio so close to making it back to the house. Instead, those lives lost, family and friends shattered. A criminal investigation ongoing Tuesday.
It could go a lot of different ways because it'll depend on the blood alcohol. It'll depend on, what actually happened. It may depend on what speed was going. So there's a lot of factors that can come into that.
And that's attorney Mike Bryant. Important to point out he's not affiliated with this case. Now, I did just in the last hour speak with the police chief here in Orono. He still hasn't gotten a medical update from the hospital on James Blue. Again, we know he was critically hurt. He is still alive. We just don't know his condition. He is not under arrest. And one other note from that search warrant, neighbor witnesses are reporting that Blue was doing in excess of 100 miles an hour in a 40-mile-an-hour zone, again, approaching his mansion on Lake Minnetonka. We're live in Orono tonight. Paul Bloom, Fox 9.